Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, I think you pronounce it Bokeh? B-O-K-E-H. You already know that because you clicked on a link, so that's how it's spelled. But it's about a romantic getaway from two American tourists who go to Iceland. And they wake up one morning and everybody's gone. Something has happened to cause everybody, at least in Iceland, to be gone. And now they have to figure out how to survive and what happened, what started all this. So 5.0 on IMDb, and almost 6,000 people reviewed it, so it might not be that good. It has Maika Monroe in it, Matt O'Leary, and there's two other people in it, but their pictures aren't in IMDb, so I don't know who they are. Interesting concept. I think any post-apocalyptic type movie is always interesting to me. Also interesting that my wife and I almost went to Iceland, and we didn't because we got pregnant with our son, who was just born yesterday. His name is Lucas, and if you see my shirt, I don't know how far I have this zoomed in, Lucas Irish Pub. I got a shirt made for him, so I don't know, kind of a little bit of a connection there. But anyway, I think this movie should be interesting. Enough about me. I'll get into it, tell you what it's really about. It's only an hour and 31 minutes long. Hopefully it's interesting. But stick around, we'll find out together. I'll be back. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of Bokeh, if I'm saying that right. Bokeh, B-O-K-E-H. It's a Japanese term for meaning out of focus. I had to look it up, but I didn't learn how to say it. But you know what it is because you clicked on it. This is available on Netflix for those of you who didn't know. I don't think I said that at the beginning. And I'm not quite sure how I feel about this film. I don't completely hate it. That's for sure. I don't know if I completely love it either. I definitely don't completely love it, but you know, I'm somewhere in the middle there. So there was no check-ins, and the reason there is no check-ins is because it really was what the plot said. You know, they survived this apocalyptic event where everybody else has disappeared, vanished. So there's no bodies laying around. There are no piles of ash or things of that nature. People have just disappeared. They are in Iceland, and they wake up one day. They're all gone. So, but power still exists because the power is coming from the geothermal plants that will continue to run. So lucky they're in Iceland. I don't think that would work everywhere, but anyway, maybe it would. I don't know enough. But they have power, they have internet, TV, you know, the old TVs are still running and things like that. So, and they have each other. And that's what happens. But as it starts to unfold, the boyfriend, Riley, is, you know, he looks at it, and I think this is the point of the movie. It's a point of existence or being alive, and what is your take on really what is being alive. And he looks at it as he's with the love of his life. He doesn't say this, but I'm assuming this is what he's thinking. You know, of course there's a lot of confusion initially when it all happens, but he's looking at it as, hey, I'm with the love of my life in one of the most scenic and breathtaking places to be, that has power and has everything else, with the world at his feet. So they can do anything, they can move into any house they want, they have all the groceries, all the needs that they could ever want. However, there's nobody else around. He's also a photographer, or yeah, I guess he's a photographer. At first I thought it was film, you know, video, but I believe it's photography now that I've seen the whole movie and I think back on it. So, you know, he has that eye for beauty, and that's one of the best things about this movie is the scenery. I'm sure everybody's aware of how scenic Iceland is, and they truly capture it in this film, and it's all about taking that in. And then his girlfriend, which I didn't see a wedding ring, so I think they're boyfriend, girlfriend, she has a completely different outlook on the situation. She's more interested in why did this happen. And they do some pondering back and forth, and they talk, you know, why did this happen? Was this the rapture, for an example? Was it aliens? They have a little bit of conversation, but he continues to say, let's stop worrying about the why and consider what we want to do going forward. But she can't break away from that why piece. She can't break away from the fact that she wants to go home and see all of her friends and family. And he continues to go one path, and she continues to go down the other path. and that, you know, leads to the conclusion of the movie, which I ultimately won't share, of course. But you know, so that's the theme of the movie. Some of the things that you think about as it goes on: are they going to tell me what happened? You know, what happens to these two? But what caused all of this? That kind of thing. So if you're really interested in all that, you know, I'm not sure if this movie's right for you. A lot of times I have movies with that no neat bow on the end of it, and I'm going to tell you right now, this is no neat bow. But I found it interesting for the most part. There was a piece in there where they go out and find a cabin. They decide to take a weekend away from the city. You know, they're in Reykjavik, and they decide, hey, let's get out of the city and go out. And that whole scene, and I don't want to go into great detail because you have to see it, but it could either done more with what they did in that piece, or they could have eliminated it. So if you check this movie out, and I encourage you to do it, as long as you're aware of what you're getting yourself into. If you like these types of movies, these post-apocalyptic, those kinds of things, you know, nobody else on Earth, last man, last woman standing kind of thing. So, you know, if you like that kind of thing, I encourage you to check this out. I like the two actors. I like, I don't know if I'm saying her name right, like Maika, Monroe, whatever. I do really like her. She has like an innocence about her, or a purity about her, and that she brings her characters that I don't know, something I like about her. And he was pretty good too. So, you know, so what about the acting? The scenery is all there. It's an interesting concept, with not probably the best ending that a lot of people will like. So that's what you're going to get when you watch this. And it's only an hour and 31 minutes or whatever, so you can check it out in a reasonable amount of time. And it's on Netflix. So if you have a Netflix subscription, it's free. So because of those reasons, I definitely think it out. I definitely encourage you to see it, knowing what you now know. Some things that I thought really quick, Rod, and I don't know if I want to spoil it for you. So that's it. I will talk a little bit more if you're interested to hear these things. I'm not going to spoil it all for you. It's some decisions that they made I'm going to talk about. If you don't want to hear that, go ahead and you can go ahead and pause it or end it, and then hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'll give you a brief second to do that. Alright, so if you stuck around with me, either you saw the movie or you don't really care and you want to hear a little bit more about it. And this is only a couple of things that I thought were interesting. They're in Iceland and they're like, oh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Well, I think I would drive to the airport. That was one thing they never did, was drive to the airport to see, you know, hey, what's going on there? That would be big for me. And then ultimately, and I think part of the point was, if I was the boyfriend of her and she was so hung up on getting back home, driving to the airport, step one, finding out there's probably nobody there, but are there planes? And is there gas? Can you fly a plane out of there? And, you know, of course, I don't know how to fly, but they have the internet. And what is it, the pilot simulator? They can go to Microsoft Pilot Simulator and learn, you know, and practice there. Maybe they're small planes. I don't know. People learn how to fly, and they probably can easily do it over computers. Or they could take a boat. Why not get on a boat and see where you can go and see what's going on? They really kept themselves secluded to Iceland. But I think part of it is because his outlook on what living life is and what existence is compared to her character. So I think that's probably why they didn't. And that was one thing that I didn't like. Besides the ending, which again I'm not going to spoil. But that's it. If you tuned in for the second part of this, I appreciate it. Even if you tuned in for the first part, of course. And now you may go ahead and like, thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel, all that stuff. And if you do check this out, let me know what your thoughts were. Maybe I missed a mark. Maybe you disagree with me. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. So thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub. Oh, Lucas's Irish Pub.